Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Plague Inc. Evolved. I know it doesn't say it anywhere, but that's what we're playing. We did last couple episodes a casual run on bacteria and a casual run on virus, trying to get more modifications so we might have a chance of beating fungus on normal. We want to beat fungus on normal because it will unlock the Norax swarm, and we can continue down the path of unlocking more and more diseases, plagues. So our options here are get bonus DNA at the beginning or get more DNA from the orange things. I think bonus DNA at the beginning. We don't have an option here. We don't have an option here. We can give our plague a bonus in arid climates, so we might as well. Dry places. And then we can get bonus DNA when de-evolving, or the cost to de-evolve doesn't increase. So, let's see. I think bonus DNA to de-evolve will work on spores. And so we're going to play on normal. And we're going to try and win. Last time we was born in the USA? No, it wasn't. That was the last name of this plague. And that was a big mistake because we started in the United States. This time, I think we'll do a 7 doors. We'll call this Sneezy. The plague Sneezy. So I really want this to work. So this is where I usually play, the Southeast Asia. And that's where I think I'm gonna play today. Let's see. Because it's a poor country versus India, which is not a poor country. You would not consider the poor country. I don't know why the game doesn't really consider India a poor country. It really isn't. It's got some diversity there. There are very poor people, and then there are very rich people. Sneezy begins in Southeast Asia. So let's remember to fast forward. We've got our transmission things. We want those transmissions up, particularly for spores. Fungus. I say spores, it's called fungus. It's the same thing. At least in my mind. You know what they should do as a plague? They should do it as Vestas, as a plague. That would be really cool. Like a dangerous chemical production thing that becomes very, very popular and used in all kinds of production elements, and slowly it just gives everybody mesothelioma and kills them all. Right. Pandemic danger exaggerated. World health experts announced that the global pandemic only has a 2.5% chance of wiping out humanity. Oh, so we only have a 2.5% chance of wiping them out. Well, I don't think the numbers really add up there, because I've won more games than I've lost a lot more. But then again, I am acting as the intelligent designer of this plague. So I can give it the traits I want at the times I want. Just get those transmissions up. Last 2 runs we beat the game in less than 2 years. I bet this takes a lot longer than that to get Sneezy to really take out the whole. Nothing's happening, just very slowly infected people. Let's see, get that up there. It's like you could almost go to this point and fast forward a little bit. There we go. New aid program for poor countries, making them less vulnerable to disease. That's no good for me. It's starting to get the infectivity-ness up. I love when I see these large leaps. And this is realistic of how an infection could go. Like, one child goes to a daycare, infects 30 other children, they go to their house, infects 5 times that if the average family has 5 people in it. And then those 5 people go to their office and infect 30 more people, so it's 30 times 5 times 30, and then the cycle just completes again, goes around again. So you could get very large jumps in sickness and disease, particularly when they're not aware of it, that there is a disease out there. Just particularly if it's not showing symptoms too. All of those things would help out. So coughing is mutated. We're not ready for that. We'll get the refund of 4 DNA points, and we'll do this instead. Also, making people particularly cold can often lower their immune system, but also particularly hot. Humans aren't very good except for in the moderate Goldilocks temperatures. They should make global warming a plague, and then global freezing too. Just both of them. You can do things that increase the heat of the planet, and then you can do things that decrease the heat of the planet. And if you just got the planet up and down a couple degrees, that'd probably be enough to eliminate all human life. Doesn't take a lot. We'll take this, and then 14 more. And then I think alien invasion should be a plague too. So many, they're not diseases really, but so many other scenarios you could play on top of, put on top of this game that would be interesting and unique. Just keep it up. Lethargy. Just make people lazy so they stop feeding themselves or having kids or anything like that. Or hyperactivity. Making people so hyperactive that they can't focus on tasks, so they can't ever accomplish anything, like getting a relationship and having children. Usually one extreme, the other extreme works just as well. Radiation sickness. We could have it where we introduce devices where that release radiation. So the new iPhone comes out, oops, it turns out it's giving deadly radiation to everybody that uses it, but nobody realizes it fast enough. Things like that. Which, by the way, can't really happen because all things are tested in the United States, at least, for what frequencies they're transmitted at, and scientists do study the frequencies that commercial devices are allowed to be at it. You could potentially get radiation sickness if you work as a X-ray person in a hospital, and that's why the doses of radiation that you're legally allowed to take in a hospital is a hugely small amount. You could get radiation at like a nuclear reactor, but that stuff is monitored like crazy. Nausea symptom has been mutated. not ready for that, I'll take the DNA. Just want it to spread. Is it worth it to spend 28 here? I don't think so. Is it worth it to spend 14 here? I don't think so. I think we just gotta wait. This is where you get in the middle of the game. There's like a early game, mid game, and late game strategy, which is fine. That's a great way to have a game. Have early game, mid game, and late game strategies. Versus games where there's just one strategy that always works, no matter what point in the game you're at. You're at, yeah. Come on, spread, fungus, spread. New Guinea, New Zealand, not infected. Madagascar, not infected. There's New Guinea. Let's see, Caribbean's probably not infected. If I could ever click on it. It's too small, the Caribbean. See, it should be able to click as far as here and just select the Caribbean. Because it's so small. You don't have to follow that. Greenland's not infected, Iceland's not infected, Canada's not infected. Doesn't look like anything in South America is infected yet. Slowly, it's ever so slowly spreading. But nobody's discovered it, so let's see. Speed up a little bit, why not? So we can play even faster. These episodes, in particular for this series, are going to be quick episodes. They're going to be more consistently quick episodes, just because this game is very much focused around that. I would have a very hard time stretching a game of Plague Inc. into a 2.5 hour episode, like some of my other series often turn into, because it's just not likely to happen. It might. We might end up doing one that's an hour, and maybe even an hour and 30 minutes long. But I don't think we'd ever hit 2 hours on Plague Inc. Evolved. And faster episodes are fine with me, and they're probably fine with everybody else. Let me know in the comments if you want longer episodes. There's not a lot of strategy here. Here's where a minigame would improve if you want to make Plague Inc. Evolved more evolved. Put a minigame so I can focus the direction better as to where it's going. Or put a minigame so I can do anything. All I'm doing is fast forwarding through your game at this point, and that's not probably the goal you want. You don't want people just fast forwarding through your game. But that's what I do. Your game is slow on purpose, so you have a extra way of control. But all I can do is fast forward more. You don't want people rushing through your game. Imagine somebody that played Skyrim and they just played the main storyline and then never played it again. That what could easily be a 50 to 500 hour experience would be done in less than 10. And that would probably be very frustrating to the developer. All the content people put in the game, and nobody bothers to see it or get to it. I wouldn't mind like a little slot machine right now. Get some gambling with it. Sit here and slot machine for the DNA. Just gamble with it, why not? Play a little, no, I wouldn't say blackjack or poker or anything, but if you could click a slot machine right here, pay 5 DNA and see if you get 5 DNA back, it'd be something to do. or if you get the 3 Axis powers, you get America, Russia, and well, no, they weren't the 3 Axis powers, but the 3 main powers at the moment: China, Russia, and the United States. If you get those 3 infected once per game, it rolls this big slot machine, and that slot machine gives you anywhere between like 1 extra DNA to as high as the jackpot of 1,000. That would be pretty random. It'd be pretty silly, but it would be something new, something surprising. Maybe there should be a gambling addiction plague, and then only in that plague do you start getting these random gamble elements. You get cards just randomly being drawn right here, and if you get like a 21, you get bonus DNA. It's just always on the screen. Flashing lights, totally Vegas it up. So we still haven't gotten Greenland, we're still missing West Africa, Algeria is barely infected, let's see, Morocco's not infected, Brazil and Argentina's not infected yet, Bolivia's not infected, Peru. Man, I feel like I'm learning the things. There probably should be like a 50 states version of this, too. Instead of just focusing on if, like I was saying, I'd love a Carmen Sandiego game. If you could just make 50 states maps where you play the same game but it's only infect the United States and you have to get it between state lines, that'd be cool. Or every actual country in Africa, that'd be cool. Every country actually in Europe, I think most of them are here, but there's definitely some less things. And but then that would be a little unfair to things like Australia, which is just one giant country, and they have like provinces, and we could learn that too. Maybe start on different levels. Whatever starting country you are in, that's level 1, so you have to infect the entire country, and then once you infect all of the United States, if you start at the United States, then it saves the game and says, now you're in level 2, where you have to infect the world. This could easily be the final part of it, and you could add a secondary part where you just start at infecting each state, and you could even probably zoom in further and have just infect each city. Just getting the virus to go from city to city, you could triple the amount of content in this game if you just started on a smaller scale. Instead of, as it is now, you click on a place and you click the go button and one person's infected, and that's all that matters. Alright, so now let's look at the world. Greenland is the only country that is not infected on fungus. That's fine because we have this. So for 4 DNA, we play this and it infects Greenland. That's why you want to wait till the very end to use the spore bursts. Slowly this is going to infect all of Greenland. Rash symptoms mutated. I'm not still ready. Still not ready. I have 141 DNA. We're just watching this Greenland as more and more people get infected. The rest of the planet is 100% infected. It's just Greenland that's being the holdout. That is why it is so important to, in fact, start on a country with a ship and an airport, seaport and airport, because you've got to get to Greenland. You've got to get to these islands. These islands will be a nightmare. On having different maps. Why not just make up some random maps? Let's do the land of the Lord of the Rings, whatever that is. do the land in Skyrim, do the land in the Chronicles of Narnia, do the land of Star Trek. Why not? Instead of each one being its own country, each one is its own solar system. So you'd have like a whole Federation region, a whole Klingon Empire, and all of that. I mean, you could certainly add some more maps. Every little new bit that gets added will definitely increase the game, the interest in the game, and how much it was. Getting a space virus to space plague to get rid of everybody would be really cool. Reminiscent of at least a couple of actual Star Trek Next Generation stories that I saw. Alright, I need 25 more DNA. Now, we've got total organ failure, we're ready to start killing people. New minor disease, they've discovered me. It went from 8,000 to 54,000 dead, just like that. Now 100,000, 300,000, a million. It's happening very fast. 12 million, 20 million. They've started to work on the cure just now. It's already 20 million dead. That's feasible. That if spread out across the entire planet, 20 million people would die before they even started working on the cure. Sure, why not? That's believable. Global research is now focused on the cure as 84 million people are already dead. It is rapid genocide here. I have starting to kill enough people to get some DNA. I'm not sure if it is that you have to kill a certain percentage of people in each country, or a certain percentage of people in a day, or how it all really works. Alright, at 25 DNA, I can bring about insanity, and so there's really nothing else to do. Start making it more fatal and kill people faster. So 14 points, 27 points. 27 points is probably worth it more. And then, yeah, 27 is the way to go. So let's refund this. We don't need it anymore. Taking the time to get your DNA back if you can is a great move, because now I'm up to 20. I only need 7 more DNA. They're at 20% of research. I'm at 30% of this. Make this more fatal. So this one for 21 points will increase the fatality. This one a little bit less for 15. This one barely at all. Let's see, this one's 26 points. 26 points for systematic infection. That's pretty good. Notice that the flanges on the spore here are longer. We are now, well, it's still a standard thing, but I think we're going to become complex pretty fast. We want to do a genetic reshuffle if we have the extra DNA, but that's really just a score thing. Look at the body, we're infecting a lot of the body. Affecting, not infecting. Well, we're doing both actually. You certainly don't get anywhere as near as pop-ups when you turn off those extra pop-ups, and I appreciate that. It speeds up the game. And also, we don't use the world view very often. So you see how they've put all this extra work into a lot of these screens, and this information is useful, and sometimes you do actually need to see it. But Eh, graph screen, world view, city view when we select a city, and I mean, it's all important information. It's just you don't need it very often. You only really need it if you're not playing very well. They're up to 35 in their cure, but I suspect they've lost their ability to work on the cure. I need 28 more. Let's see. Yeah, they're below 20% of their potential laboratories. I don't think we'll have enough DNA to do a genetic reshuffle again. Maybe we will. I need 2 more DNA. Will I get 2 more DNA before the rest of the planet dies? It doesn't look like it. We're down to 50 million people. Hmm. 7 million, 5 million, 4 million, 3 million, 2 million, 1 million. Argument could be made that society could not stay together even with 1 million people still surviving. It really depends on how close those 1 million people are. If there's 1 million people spread across the planet, probably not. If there's 1 million people in one city, probably with a lot of work. Anyways, our plague Sneezy is set to eradicate humans. We did it. We did it with the spores. It's very important to start in the right place, and the right place is not the United States of America for a disease. Sneezy has successfully eliminated all life on Earth. That really goes to show you how you drastically change the difficulty based on the country you start on. And maybe that changes the score a little bit, but who knows? If it does, like any score-based game, and they do this so often, they don't explain where the scores come from. If you got more of a bonus starting score for doing the United States, then there should be like a number on each country. And it should say like 800 for clicking here, or 100 for clicking here. But it doesn't, so I don't know if the starting country affects your score or not. I don't know if it's just set by the date. We did get to a complex level. They only got 33%. We've got an 11,000 score, which is a decent score. It did take us, let's see, a little bit over 4 years, to eliminate all human life as of Fungus, which is really surprising. Fungus, I would highly doubt would ever be able to eliminate all human life on the planet. It's not as believable as a bacteria or virus. So the Terracell gene DNA and the Norax worm plague have both been discovered and unlocked. Pick one though. Say either they've been discovered or unlocked. And I think the right answer here is to say unlocked, because you really didn't discover them. So we did it, which is great. The Norax worm is a unique worm, a very, very different type of plague. It manipulates organisms by burrowing into the brain. So it's going to get in the brain of the humans and start manipulating them with his long tendrils that send out electrical signals. So it's kind of like a parasite, but it's actually controlling the organism, where the parasite doesn't usually have full control. And then we've got the Terracell thing that, let's see, where is it? Here it is. Good, a new one. increases the chance of the plague spreading by um, land. It's called a terra site. Terra is, I believe, Latin for what Earth is called, terra firma. So we get increased spread for that. We will be able to use that, and one of these, and this one. And so we only have this one now that doesn't have at least something unlocked. Not the best things really for any of them, but slowly we're getting the bonuses. Slowly these genes are helping us and making it easier. Next time we play as the Neuraxis Worm on normal, so we can hope we can get back on the shortcut thought of playing each parasite and winning on normal on the first try. Thus we can unlock the next one. Get parasite unlocked, get prions unlocked, the necrovirus, the nanovirus, and the bioweapon unlocked. And then once we have them all unlocked, I'll just do the simian flu as soon as we get down there too. And that certainly isn't mean we're close to being done on this series. There's still tons of stuff to be done. But we've got 50% of the plagues unlocked now, and that's good news. Remember, we still have the official scenarios, which lots of scenarios here. And how do we unlock these? So we have to do them in order: Black Death, artificial organs, frozen virus. So there's a lot of these scenarios here here we go, global warming. I should look at this stuff before I start shooting off my mouth, shouldn't I? There is global warming and ice age. So there is some of this stuff here. It's not in the basic part of the game, and I think this is a problem. Now I know in the cell phone game he sold the scenarios as an extra add-on or DLC, but it looks like the scenarios should be in the main game, and it should just be you click here and you see those scenarios down here. Why not? Why have two separate screens? We're not going to do any custom scenarios just because it doesn't come with the game. And then we'll do the speed runs and we'll see how fast we can win. Let's see, do you get to choose the difficulty on speedruns? Doesn't look like you do. So no difficulty choice there. So there's still a lot to do, but we're done for today. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, click on my name, go to my main YouTube page. Over there on the right it says support this channel. You can click there and donate any amount of money you choose, even the smallest, even $1, it would be very much appreciated. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus or Steam or Battle.net, all that information is listed below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.